Welcome to the Blue Oasis Podcast. This is the podcast for finding peace and prosperity, learning the history of hobbies, as well as developing a little side hustle. If you want to find peace and prosperity in your life, this is your show. Get ready. You're listening to the Blue Oasis Podcast. I am your host, Adam Rothstein. All right, let's get to the show. And welcome back to the Blue Oasis Podcast. With me today is Tony Lysan. How do you pronounce your last name again?
Lysandrides, but for short, you can say Lysan.
Lysan. Okay, that works. So tell me a little about yourself, Tony.
Yeah, so I'm half Greek Cypriot, half Slovakian. I was born and raised in the UK, London, England. And yeah, I got into a situation in terms of when we came into the lockdown, the first lockdown, and I was at that time, I was in sales, I was installing security systems, selling and installing security systems. And when I was put on furlough, during the first lockdown, where my income was it was reduced because of the lockdown and we couldn't work. We were obviously going to clients' houses in order to sell them security systems. However, because of COVID, I couldn't really do that. So I was looking for ways to make money online. And so I tried different methods. I tried Forex trading, I tried social media marketing, and nothing seemed to have worked until I came across an advert on YouTube, which was about running faceless YouTube channels. And that's when I took hold of that opportunity. I purchased a course and a coaching program to start my own faceless YouTube channel. And within about 8 months, my first YouTube channel got monetized, started making money. Started off pretty small. At first, it was only like $150 a month, but then that slowly, gradually increased to $500 a month, and then eventually we hit our first $7,000 month. And then after that, we hit a $14,000 month. And since then, I've been able to monetize 4 more channels after that. And yeah, and then I moved into the coaching side of things. I've had a bunch of people reach out to me, ask me to teach them how to do this, how they can monetize faceless YouTube channels. And so that's what I've been doing right now. I have my own community, my own course, coaching program where I teach people how to do that. So, and yeah, AI has had a big um, factor to play, and it has changed a lot of things in the faceless YouTube creator space. And yeah, I'm excited, but yeah, a lot of pros and cons with AI, but we can go into that later on in the discussion.
Okay. Now I have noticed on YouTube of fish and just maybe some background music, or actually sometimes even live streams of fish just swimming around in a tank. So it is possible to actually accomplish that. But are there any particular categories that dominate faceless YouTube channels? Is it fish? Could it just be explaining something to a viewer?
That's a very interesting question, Adam, because it's not like there is a specific niche that dominates the whole YouTube platform, because YouTube has billions of users, and it's more popular than Netflix right now, and it's constantly growing. And so there's so many different niches within the YouTube space. So it's hard to say which niche dominates. There is no niche that dominates the whole YouTube space, but there are so many different niches within YouTube. There's niches that you probably never thought existed that are in YouTube right now. And yeah, so there's different channels that dominate different niches, put it that way, but there's always going to be up and coming channels that do some viral videos. And yeah, so that is one part of the play.
Okay. When you got monetized for the first time and you were looking at the stats and the bars and it told you how many more subscribers you needed and how many more views or hours watched you needed, and you finally got that memo. What was it like?
It was a good feeling. I really began to feel that the time and effort and energy I was putting into this YouTube channel was finally paying off. And but I was happy to have my channel monetized and I kept pushing for more. So yeah, even though I was making I made my first paycheck from YouTube, so to speak. So it was a good motivator that I've tasted some blood and now nothing can stop me. And so yeah, so I was happy and grateful, but I always had that mindset of I need to push for more, we need to push for more.
Okay. How much was the first check or the first payment into your your PayPal account or whatever you had?
I can't remember. It was around 4 years ago, and but I think it was something around $200, something like that. Yeah.
That's actually not bad, by the way. It's not. Um, so so when you so in 8 months you get to 14K a month. I mean, I mean when uh, I guess I should ask this question earlier. What topic do you cover mostly for your faceless YouTube channel?
So my first one is mainly about Dubai. That it's more of a Dubai channel, which it talks about Dubai's touristic attractions, its man-made islands, its Ferris wheel, its it has the world's seventh, the only seventh star to seven-star hotel in the world. It has a mall with a skiing resort within the mall. It has a lot of touristic attractions. So that was my first successful channel. That was more talking about Dubai's XYZ stuff about Dubai. So um yeah, and it didn't take me 8 months to it took me 8 months to get monetized, but it took me a year and a half to hit that first 14K month. So um it was tough at first. I would have to say that it wasn't easy. I did feel like giving up, but because I invested so much time, effort, and energy into the channel, I just said to myself, well, I've already invested so much. I need to get something out of it. I can't just give up now. So I kept going, kept going, kept going, kept going, and then eventually I saw the breakthrough. So essentially, yeah, anything that you do in life, you have to be persistent. You have to give it your all, and you have to be persistent in your passionate pursuit. And that's what I did, and I reaped the harvest. And so I suppose that's a principle in life that we should apply in every single area of our lives, whether we're in business, whether we're at work, whether we're at church, whatever we're doing in life, we should give our 100% in that area and work hard.
Read, be persistent. Ah, just ah, I'll have to edit that out. Phone, just hit that on the side of the table. Um, now there is now I do want to get to the AI aspect of faceless YouTube channels because now no now there are definitely videos that don't actually contain real people. They make this up. You see compilations of AI photos on YouTube videos. And I'm curious right now, do you think it is there's some sort of moral quandary to this? Like there are definitely some things that can be unethical when we post these videos.
It depends what your intentions are, depends what path you're leading people down. In terms of there's something called deep fake where people have cloned celebrities' voices and try to like use AI to move their mouths and make them sound like they're saying something that they're not, like promoting a product and so forth. I have seen that, and even in adverts, you do see it, I believe they call it deep
Tony, you there?
fake, where yeah, you just clone the voice of someone, make them
Oh
say something
yeah.
that they don't. That yeah, can
Yeah,
you hear me?
yeah, you glitched out for a bit there.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
So yeah, so there's something called deep fake where you can clone the voice of an influencer or a celebrity, and you can basically just make them say something that they didn't say, and that's the dangers of AI. But YouTube are pretty much cracking down on that right now. The only, I mean, AI has kind of made it. much easier for us creators in the YouTube space. In the last quarter, in the fourth quarter of 2023, there was a huge boom and surge of AI. And now in 2024, it has just like rapidly increased. And so one of the ways it has affected freelancers, because the way I create my content is I would hire freelancers. There's essentially five stages to the creation process. The first stage is the ideation. So you have to look at the idea, like come up with an amazing idea when it comes to faceless channels. Your idea is the most important. After the idea of the video, once you've studied and looked at trends and crafted your perfect video idea, the next stage is to look for or to craft up a really good script for the video. After the script is crafted up, you would want a voiceover to speak the script and bring the script to life. After the script has come to life with the voiceover, you then want to have a video editor to gather images and footage with background music and put the video together so that it's really good. And then after that comes the thumbnail, which is where you would hire a graphic designer to create a thumbnail so that people can click on the video. Now, here's the thing. AI has come in and has replaced the script writer with ChatGPT, the voiceover with a software called 11 Labs, where you can actually put a script into a voiceover. No, put a script into a software and it will generate a voiceover, and the voice sounds, even though it's an AI voice, it sounds like a human being. And I believe that's put a lot of voiceover artists out of a job, because for $20 a month, you can have someone who sound a voice, a variety of voices for $20 a month, and they sound like human voices, and a lot of people will never tell if it's a human or if it's a real person or if it's a AI bot. So in a sense, if you want to talk about AI replacing jobs in the YouTube space, that's pretty much the only thing that I believe has replaced it is the script the cheap script writers that we would get from overseas. Those ones have been replaced by ChatGPT, and then we have the voiceovers have been put out of a job with 11 Labs. In terms of the video editing and the graphic design side of things, AI has positively affected those sides of things because it's actually made their jobs easier. So, yeah, AI makes, there's AI tools that make video editing easier. There's AI tools that make graphic design easier and much more better. So AI has positively affected us as creators, but some freelancers have been replaced.
Of course. Um, Now, I do think that like there are definitely some benefits to actually having an artificial voice. There's this YouTube channel by the name of Glorb, and he's posting music of SpongeBob and all this stuff, and they just make all these music rap videos, and then there's a bunch of other SpongeBob music videos where they are covering the Backstreet Boys and stuff like that. So I do think that is a good um as well. But when it comes to the voiceovers, I've made money recording audiobooks. I've done it. I mean, I do still think there's going to be a market for someone to hear an organic voice. And Audible is still profitable for creators. You can still make money with your own audiobook. And I know on being being the narrator and trying to actually secure a project, I mean, maybe that you're not going to be it's going to be harder to secure a project because now they're going to be limited, but it doesn't mean you should give up and not pursue your passion.
Yeah, I agree. And like you said, Adam, um, there will always be a market for the voiceovers, for human voiceovers. Um, yeah, and there'll always be a market for that. But yeah, there has been a few changes. Um, but yeah, I believe a lot of people talk about the dangers of AI, and even though AI has replaced a lot of jobs in the past, I still believe that the human touch, the human connection is irreplaceable. And I don't believe that AI will fully replace humans. I do believe, however, that AI will help humans and will help you with your job. So just like my graphic designers and my video editors, they're using AI to create better videos. So AI has a positive effect on businesses. In terms of completely replacing people, I don't see that happening fully, even though it has happened to many places has been many people have been fired because AI is taking over. But those are usually just the minimum wage jobs, like simple jobs. Like if here in the UK we have like over there in the US you have Walmart. In the UK we have Tesco's, Sainsbury's, Aldi, Lidl. We have these supermarkets, and they have self checkout um AI robots that you basically go there, you scan your food shopping, then you pay for it, and then you're gone. So that in a sense has replaced the cashier or the people who are at the till scanning the food and then charging you the money. So that in a sense has replaced them, but one job is replaced, another one is created. Even though that job has been replaced, they still need people in the store to make sure that the people can actually use the machines. And if the machines break, they have someone to fix it. So it's taken away one job, but then it creates another job for somebody else. Um, so I'm a firm believer that human touch will always be in demand, but I do believe that we have to adjust with AI and use it for our advantage as opposed to against our advantage.
100%. And personally, I see a lot of robots in the future, whether it's whether it's just an AI, truck or something like that, or rather construction workers building it up, and or we're building 3D houses in the future with AI. So definitely want to see something like that in the future, helping them, AI essentially building 3D houses, and you can get a house for like 10,000 bucks, or I don't know what the equivalent is in euros or pounds.
Yeah, it's like £8,000, but yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, people talk about the dangers, but I wouldn't say it's too. Yeah, even though it's hard to tell essentially, Adam, because it's rapidly increasing, and we saw a surge of AI, especially in my space, in the YouTube space. We saw a huge boom of AI in the last quarter of 2023, and then now it's really rapidly increasing. Um, I am excited. Am I afraid? No, I'm not too afraid in terms because essentially what you would want to do, and for anybody listening to this podcast, is you would want to catch the trend, catch the wave, understand that AI is the next big thing. It's already here and it's just going to become greater, and seek to utilize it to your advantage no matter what you're doing in life. Download ChatGPT on your phone. You can download the app on your phone. You can have it on your obviously on your computer, on your PC, your laptop, and just use it for everyday tasks. If you're stuck, if you run out of creativity, ask ChatGPT. Just use it for your advantage, and learn how to use AI now so that in the future you have an advantage, because at the moment, you're seeing people make so much money and be so successful from the internet. The internet didn't exist 50 years ago. And so if you was to turn back the clock and let's say you travel back in time and you see that the internet is just coming into being, you, with the knowledge that you have now, you would try and become the best and best person who can use the internet in the whole world. Because if you see, oh my gosh, the internet is the future, apps, software, I need to learn that thing. But yeah, when the internet first came around, not everyone thought it would be a thing. People would be like, okay, well, why am I going to buy something from, why am I going to buy something online when I can just go down to the high street and buy it from the store? But now people are asking, why should I go down to the store when I can buy it online? So can you see how yeah, and I think the next big thing is AI.
Yeah, and I don't see a Skynet scenario, at least in our lifetime, but there is a responsibility that we all have when we're using this. And, like Uncle Ben Parker said, with great power comes great responsibility. And that certainly applies to every single AI tool. And this leads me into something very uh very touchy, and that's why I'll put the explicit notice on this episode. But we're seeing a lot of porn addiction and these days, and AI is only contributing to this. And I mean, it's getting really difficult to tell what's a human and what's not. But do you have any advice for combating porn addiction, given the fact that AI is now a contributing factor to this?
That's very interesting, Adam, because there are some softwares, there are some AI tools where you can actually generate naked images and you can actually generate pornography, which is interesting. And you're actually seeing AI OnlyFans models, which is, well, what I would advise is stay away from OnlyFans, stay away from it 100%. It's only damaging. Um, and yeah, I would stay away from that 100%. Now, in terms of the influencers, so yeah, there are AI influencers who seem to be real and they look real, they even sound real, but they're not real. And yeah, I think it's just common sense. Just stay away from it. It's not real. And that AI freaking robot doesn't love you. Even the porn stars that you're watching, they don't love you. They don't know your name. They'll never know your name, and they probably will never even look at you twice if you walk the street. So stay away from pornography. Stay away from AI pornography. Um, and and yeah, just because that stuff only damages the brain. It does no good. It might give you a temporary buzz, but it's not good. I would stay away from it.
Get back to reading books and developing your mind and playing chess and actually stimulating your mind with good things and actually having real conversations with women,
Exactly,
of
100%.
course.
I mean, you don't want to prostitute. You want to marry a wife. You want to marry a woman. You want to marry a feminine woman. You don't want to marry a robot or a woman who's been absolutely destroyed by today's culture and been poisoned by what people think a woman should be like nowadays. I think it's very important that we seek genuine relationships with each other, but obviously with the opposite sex, with women. It's very important that we seek genuine relationships, that genuine human connection. And yeah, just know that freaking people, you can make a freaking robot as a sex toy, but that robot doesn't love you. It never will, doesn't know your name. Um, and it's just, yeah, I mean, obviously people who are addicted to that kind of things will need a lot of help to get out of that. But first, you need to believe that you can live free from those things before you are free from those things, because everything begins in the mind. You have to believe it before you can receive it. And if you can see yourself in your mind doing it, then that, in a sense, is an act of faith. Because faith is not blind. Faith is actually visual. When you believe something, you first see it in your imagination. You picture it, you envision it, you connect with it, your mind mentally connects with it, and then you go and you implement. So essentially, that's how it works with your belief system. If you want to change your life, you have to change your belief system. If you want to change your reality, you have to change your mentality.
Of course, of course. I did want to end this segment on a high note. But AI games, there's definitely, going to be, well, I mean, there's been AI or some rudimentary AI since the 1980s, um, when it came to developing video games, because there was a certain specific code that went in and that made a certain character do something, or you controlled it. So it did respond. So it was very rudimentary at the time. Now, today you have Call of Duty and Fortnite um, and I don't know what the kids are playing these days, maybe MVP baseball if they still do that here. I don't know, but I do think that that will definitely be, that a new industry will come with that when programming video games.
Yeah, so AI games, it's like, um, are you talking about games that have been um coded by AI or have like AI images on them?
Um, I think, or there was a character skin maybe in Fortnite as well. So um, I do think that in AI, that some AI generated games will be all right, but once again, I think that we don't. I I've lost my train of thought. But I mean, again, we can choose to play these games or not. But if AI produces a video game, you know, why not give it a go?
Yeah, I don't see any danger behind that. As long as it's ethical, as long as it doesn't cause harm, doesn't cause it has no sexual immorality, it has no nothing poisoning the brain, no bad influences in those games. I don't see any issue around it. Essentially, I would think that it would make the programmer's life a bit easier. They can code games much quicker because you can actually code games with ChatGPT. You can code games with ChatGPT. And it will write the code for you. So yeah, I believe that AI is making it easier to code games, and I believe that even the most ordinary people can create games nowadays with the help of AI. It's no longer you no longer need high level developers. You can use ChatGPT, and you can essentially learn online how to do it, but it's not as hard as it used to be. And I think AI has broken down a lot of barriers to entry. But yeah, I don't see any dangers in it. Um, Essentially, I see positivity behind it. I see that a lot of these kids who are 13 years old are learning to code games on with AI. Um, I think they can make a full-time living from it, and they have an advantage. They have an advantage that most of us didn't have when we were younger. I mean, when I was younger, yeah, we had the internet, but we didn't have the AI tools that we have now. I think now is a very interesting, powerful time to be around, to be a teenager. If you're once you get really good at AI and how to utilize it for your good, how to monetize it, make money, and so forth. That's essentially how you're going to use it for your benefit. So yeah.
100%. And these kids are going to have such a huge advantage. They don't need to go to college or university. They can learn how to code. They can learn how to sell online this game. They
Mhm.
can put it on Steam. They can have it downloadable. They could also build a website and then, you know, have have some sort of payment processing system on there, whether you're using Wix or Squarespace or something. You could just put it there, and you can certainly develop around it. You can make sequels. You can teach people how to code. Just learn the basics. And if they really do want to go to university or college, and they can get and they could still go into the corporate world and get a good paying job in IT or whatever they decide to do, essentially. And they really don't need a 4-year degree. And I think that is the benefit, an added benefit with AI and the internet.
Yeah, exactly. And I think people can, like we've said throughout this podcast, use it for your benefit, and especially the young people learn to use it and essentially make a full-time income from it. And yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay. Any other topics you want to cover before I let you go? And do you have any promos or links or anything that you want to give me?
Yeah, sure. So, essentially, I specialize in teaching people how they can monetize YouTube channels. So if you're an introvert, if you don't want to show your face, if you want to make money on YouTube without having to show your face or edit videos, then there's a way you can use AI and freelancers for a very cheap price, or you can learn how to do it yourself. I do have a paid course, a paid mentorship program, and I'll be sending the link over. It should be, if you click on the link in the description, or if you click on the link below, it'll have a link to my website where you can get in contact with me there, and then we can just take it from there. So yeah, I'll be sending that link over.
Okay, yeah, just be sure to send me that through Podmatch so I have it later. Okay, and if you want to support this podcast, be sure to check out my audiobooks. If you pay it, if you purchase that all that goes to the show. It helps me do what I'm doing here, and it also is a source of income for yours truly. So definitely check that out. Also, please be sure to share the show with your friends, family. Like this podcast. Rate this 5 stars on Apple, Spotify. If you think it's good enough, write me a little review. Let me know what you think. And with that being said, everyone, take care.